So we are live now on India Sports News. Congratulations to everybody. India has made it to the final of the World Test Championship. They have once again won the Border Gavaskar Trophy, and I have with me a very happy former India cricketer Nilesh Kulkarni, who's also a Border Gavaskar Trophy winner back in 2001. But that was more chaotic and more dramatic, and this is much more sedate finish to this Test series. Nilesh, you must have felt like. You guys had to fight it a lot, and these guys had it quite easy in the end.
Well, I mean, if you remember, I predicted 2-1 or 3-0 as a
Hmm.
series, and by the looks of it, that prediction was fairly accurate. 2-1 is
Uh,
what we've actually achieved. But all in all, I think India managed to put up a good show because if Virat Kohli and Akshar Patel hadn't had this partnership, we would have been actually struggling to save the test match. So, the way they approached this and the way they bailed it out, all in all, I think it was a phenomenal test series. Kudos to the entire team management, and the strategy they put together. And of course, the controllables are always said in cricket, but by the looks of it, New Zealand pulled up a absolute stunner, which helped India qualify for the World Test Championship. So, I think if you ask me, this is the best phase to as a cricketer to see the red ball cricket is so alive. The uncertainties, what we were known to have it in the white ball cricket, we are getting to see that in Test cricket also.
what is it about pitches in New Zealand that two consecutive Test matches have resulted in such dramatic finishes? Last one run. This one, almost a draw and a run out of the last ball. A sensational finish once again.
Unbelievable. I think New Zealand is over the years have probably got into habit of in white ball and red ball cricket to finish it last. They've had quite a few nail biters in last 5 to 7 years of their uh, current form, and the qualifications for top matches, top finals as well. So to see this kind of result, I mean, at one point of time, we all thought that Sri Lanka is going to walk through this test match, and suddenly the tide changed. New Zealand came out strong, and to see this kind of a finish today was unbelievable.
And what a knock by Kane Williamson. Tremendous effort.
Absolutely, and the right time under pressure when team needed the most, he put up a great show. I think that was phenomenal to see that kind of determination and application under pressure. What a sight that was! As a red ball cricket lover, that was a phenomenal sight.
And even someone like a Neil Wagner, bulging disc, torn hamstring, he still came out to bat and he ran that last single. And it was a, it was a sensational test match. India would have had their hearts in their mouth while watching that test match, wouldn't they?
Well, India must be thanking New Zealand for making sure that Sri Lanka is out of the contention of the World Test Championship final. With this win now, obviously India has qualified for the finals, but India wouldn't have asked for a better script for sure.
But coming back to Ahmedabad, and you see Ahmedabad, the final day, after Matthew Kuhneman went, the test match was sort of floating around. And after the news came from Christchurch, uh, the test match lost its sting.
Obviously, because more to do with India than Australia.
Uh,
India desperately wanted to win this because of the last test India lost. So, India had a lot to lose than Australia. Australia had already qualified. So, it
hmm,
was always India who. There were only two results, which when we spoke yesterday, there were only two results possible: India win or a draw.
hmm.
And when you saw the result came from Christchurch, everyone just dropped their shoulders because the fate was sealed. India and Australia to play the World Test Championship final was confirmed. So obviously, you don't want to go hard because India has already won the Test series.
Hmm.
India is 2-1 up. So, all those things matters a lot when it comes to pushing extra yard. When things are settled, you don't need to go extra yard. And, probably a good decision on the hindsight that India went into this test match with a safer bet of preparing a slightly flattish deck to make sure that we don't lose the test match.
So now looking back at the test series, how would you look back? What are the gains? Obviously, Ravichandran Ashwin won the Player of the Series award. What is the biggest gain for according to you?
So biggest gain are two for me. One is of course Virat Kohli's form back into red ball cricket is a great sign for Indian cricket, because India needs Virat Kohli to be amongst the runs, spearheading, shouldering the responsibility, along with Rohit Sharma, who actually led from the front. First Test match, batted, grinded hard, but the breath of fresh air is Shubman Gill, to score this 100 in the first innings, and more importantly, Aksar Patel. I mean, you see, the regular standard performers are like Jadeja, Ashwin, who stood out phenomenally well on some assistance. But on a turning track, to see the way Aksar Patel applied into first two Test match helped India seal that test win was special. And I think for me, the standout performer has to be Aksar Patel's batting.
And in terms of Australia, what do you think they get? Apart from Nathan Lyon, who picked up 22 wickets, the two young spinners?
Two young spinners definitely got huge experience, but more importantly, when you see Usman Khwaja, applying against his, aggressive nature and the approach which he has, to see that kind of approach, determination, what Usman Khwaja has shown, he's definitely a standout performer for Australia, because they were heavily dependent on people like Smith and Labuschagne, but in the end it was Khwaja who actually put his hand up and gave them that solid approach and a comfort approach in that batting unit.
And when you look back and now look ahead, because India has made it to the final of the World Test Championship, it is going to be change in condition. Pat Cummins will be back, Josh Hazelwood will be back, and it will be a full strength Australian team. India, unfortunately, still won't be full strength because Pant is still injured, Bumrah is still injured, so both can't make it. How do you look at India's chances in that World Test Championship final? Because the conditions will change. You can't play all three spinners over there.
Of course, I think you'll probably go in that test match with three fast bowlers and one spinner, as a four bowling unit with the all rounder, because English conditions will offer a lot of support to seam bowling. But make no mistake, we're playing at Oval, where the wicket is known to be slightly flatter as compared to the Headinglays of the world, where it seems in moves swings a lot. So it's obviously depending on the conditions which are beyond anybody's control. India also will have an advantage because Shami, Siraj, Umesh Yadav have probably shown a great credibility and a promise when it comes to being reliable, spearheading the responsibility. Of course, they'll dearly miss Bumrah because champion bowler. I mean, Bumrah in this lineup, hands down, people will just have his name first after the captain. So, and see, to a certain extent, I agree where Rishabh Pant will be dearly missed, because he adds such a flexibility and a strength to change the course of the situation or the match on his own. Obviously, he's going to be a huge factor for India in terms of missing out for this World Test Championship.
And the fact that India has the opportunity now to look ahead to the final. There's only a 7 day gap between the IPL final and the World Test Championship final. How do you think that will work out in your view?
Well, it's not only for India, but a lot of Australians who play in IPL will also have the similar challenge, because with this modern day cricket, they are all way too experienced to adapt and adjust to different formats. But end of the day, it's World Test Championship. So 7 days, according to me, is a very small window, because you will need some time to spend in England before you actually go into the World Test Championship final. Because obviously, England, New Zealand are the countries where the conditions nobody controls, and the more you get used to it, the better it is for the batter, especially, and even to bowlers to get used to those conditions, especially under the big match like World Test Championship final.
I have one thought, and I want to ask you about this. The left field choice for the World Test Championship final. He may or may not be part of the squad, but someone like an Umran Malik, I'm just wondering, because he bowls express speed, could he be somehow drafted in the 11 as a X factor, or it's too much to ask?
I think it's too much to ask, because even Umesh Yadav clocks 148 regularly, 145, 148. So does Siraj. So India still have a very good firepower, and I'm actually impressed with the way Siraj approaches. He's hit the deck, let it seam, and controlling the game. So his role is going to be very very vital in this if India plays with three or four medium pacers, because India doesn't have a bowling all rounder, fast bowling all rounder. So obviously they'll probably have to go into the match with unless the captain and the coach want to have a five bowling option, then things might change.
What about Shardul Thakur?
Well, Shardul obviously will be part of the scheme of the things, but according to me, right now, these three walk into the World Test Championship finals if they are fit post IPL.
And someone like a Jaydev Unadkat left armor, the conditions might suit him, but he'll just be in the scheme of things again, like he was
Exactly.
here.
Exactly. So he'll be a part of the scheme of things. But if you ask me to pick 11, I think these are the three who come straight into my mind who should be part of that playing 11.
And if there is a performer in the IPL, there is always a talk and there's always temptation. In 3 weeks' time, every second player will be considered to be an India player. How do you resist that temptation?
I don't think that's going to make much of a difference because knowing Rahul Dravid and Rohit Sharma, they've had enough of this experience in terms of situations, and they know they differentiated pretty clearly that the red ball cricket and the white ball cricket team and the priority of having the Ranji Trophy performance consideration are pretty much clearly laid out. So even though somebody does really well into the IPL, will definitely be into the watchful eyes, but not into the scheme of things.
You're absolutely right, because if you look at the Irani Cup squad, it is made up of players who hardly play IPL, and it is made up of red ball performers, which means that the selectors, who are your good friends, they are doing their job very well.
Absolutely, and they've clearly marked the guidelines for players also to give a message saying that take the red ball cricket seriously, play Ranji Trophy hard. They'll be watching you. So I think that's a very clear message to those who are performing into red ball cricket that there's never an opportunity where you're going to miss out or the opportunity loss is going to be there. So I think it's a very good sign for players, as you rightly said, who are not playing white ball cricket but still outstandingly performing into red ball cricket.
On that note, on that positive note, thanks a lot, Nilesh, for joining us right through this Border Gavaskar Trophy. It was enjoyable having your insight into the performances on both sides by both teams. This has been a thrilling test series. It was not as dramatic, chaotic, or historic as the one that you were part of in 2001, but it was still a performance worth noting for India, and we must cherish that. India's made it to the final of the World Test Championship. Thanks a lot, Nilesh, for your time. We'll join up with you very soon again, and hopefully we can catch up with you very soon. And all of you on India Sports News, please like, share, and subscribe this video. Like, share, and subscribe this channel, and don't forget to press the notification bell. And also remember, we are also on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Go everywhere, like, share, and subscribe us. Nilesh, thanks a lot, and thanks a lot to everyone. Until next time, goodbye from us.
Thank you.